StraightalLday.com.
BaldwinDreAllDay.com. Topic for all you business-minded folks out there, and that should be everybody, because all of life is a business in one way or another, is business is not a meritocracy. And I just recorded today, as a matter of fact, a whole masterclass episode of my podcast called Work on Your Game. Those of you who don't know, my podcast is daily. I call it a masterclass. It's a podcast. It's free. It comes out every day, and more people listen to it by audio than video. We put it on YouTube too, but the audio gets listened way more than the video. Don't ask me why, but it's true. Anyway, I just recorded an episode on this where I'll go a lot deeper than what I'm going to go right here, but I know a lot of y'all don't have the attention span to get the full context of information. That's your fault and your loss, but I will give you a short version of it here. In a meritocracy, definition of a meritocracy just means things are based on merit. The winners and the people who get the most rewards are the people who have produced the most merit, and that simply means the people with the highest level of ability and the highest level of demonstrated skill. That's what a meritocracy is. Closest thing to a meritocracy you're going to see in life is sports. I come from a sports background. My background is in professional basketball. I explain this concept to people all the time. Sports is the closest thing to meritocracy, because in sports we have this thing that is a judge and jury of everything that happens in a sport, and we call it the scoreboard. What does the scoreboard tell you? It tells you the score. It tells you who's winning. We judge winning and losing by what the scoreboard says in sports. In every other area of life, the judgment is subjective. It's based on people's opinions, and if somebody likes you, then that can cost you. Somebody doesn't like you, that can cost you. It's not about just straight up ability. And in the business world, it's not just about people's subjective opinions, it's about other things as well. And I'm going to explain to you what they are right here in this video. So instead of it being a meritocracy, business is three other things. It's about strategy, systems, and relationships, or politics, if you want to call it that. So a strategocracy, which is strategy, the best strategy wins. Systemocracy, systems, the best system wins. And politocracy, the best politics win. So what is that? What do these three things mean? Strategy is having a big picture plan for what you're doing, where you're going, why you're doing it. Strategy basically governs tactics. Tactics are like the day-to-day maneuvers that you make and the actions that you take. Or like if you have a to-do list, your tactics are everything that's on your to-do list. Those are things that you do every single day. Strategy governs your tactics. So when you know what your tactics are, or you know what your strategy is rather, the strategy is telling you, all right, the reason that you're taking these tactics because we're trying to get to this bigger picture thing, but these are the steps along the way. When you don't have a strategy, you're doing a whole bunch of stuff. You could be taking the exact same steps, but there's no big picture to it. So you're just doing stuff and hoping that it works out. This is the way many people run their businesses, the way many people run their careers, and the way many people run their lives is they just do stuff and just hope that things work out. This is a bad way of doing things. And if you don't have a big picture strategy, even if you are good at the tactics, eventually you're going to run yourself into the ground in business, and you're going to lose to somebody who does have a strategy. Second one is systems, the systemocracy. This is the best system to end up winning. So you look at examples like McDonald's, Walmart, Denny's, Subway. These companies have products and services that are not necessarily the best in their class. There are burgers right here in Miami where I'm driving that make better sandwiches than burger joints make better sandwiches than McDonald's by far. I can find a better sandwich than Subway. I can get home goods from a place with better quality stuff than Walmart, and I can sit down for a meal at a restaurant that has better food than Denny's. But all of these businesses have been around for a long time, and they've been making a lot of money, not necessarily because their products are so great, but because they have clean, well-run systems that produce results over and over again, and they know exactly who they're serving. See, they're serving the masses of people. McDonald's, Walmart, Subway, Denny's, they serve the masses. They're not trying to be elite and only serve like the top 10% of people, whereas some people do. Some people, like for example, my coaching programs, I'm not trying to serve everybody, and my coaching is priced in such a way that everybody ain't gonna be able to get it, and I don't want everybody. I'm trying to serve a certain percentage of the population, and I know I'm cutting off a large percentage of people. McDonald's is doing the opposite. They're trying to serve as many people as possible. And that's why their prices are low enough. They can serve a bunch of people, and they have the systems. Understand something. Don't take anything that I say in any of these videos or my podcast or anything. Don't take anything that I say out of context. So just, you heard me say that McDonald's prices are low. That's part of how they serve a bunch of people. That's not the reason why. So if you got a product or a service that you're selling, just because you set a low price doesn't mean you're going to get a bunch of customers. Okay, so don't take anything that I'm saying here out of context. All right, you got to have the system to go with the low price. All right, and the system for McDonald's is why McDonald's is McDonald's. Subway, the same thing. Denny's, also Walmart as well. They all have very strong systems, and that's why they're as successful as they are as businesses. Many people and businesses operate with no system whatsoever. They just randomly do stuff, again, and hope that it works out. The strategy is operated by the system. All right, so when you have a system in place, then you can have a strategy, because your strategy is based on what is our system. What does our system produce? We use the system to dictate where the strategy is going to take us. And the third one is politocracy, and that means being good at politics. In other words, being good at relationships. Here's what politics is. Many people use this term politics to mean something negative, like people being conniving or backstabbing, or just using it in some kind of negative way when dealing with other people. Here's what politics actually is, and this is on my podcast. I'll talk about this in more detail. Politics just means building and nurturing relationships for the purpose of defending and advancing your own self-interest. That's all politics is. So everybody who's listening to me right now, you have self-interests, and you deal with other people. You socialize and deal with other individuals. That's all politics is. You use your relationships with other people to move yourself forward, or you end up not moving forward because you don't have the right relationships with the right other people. So in business, a lot of stuff is very, very subjective. It is not based on who's good. It's based on who knows who has the most solid relationships. Everybody follow me? So, for example, especially when you're in a service-based business, you're doing any kind of consulting, speaking, coaching, how does somebody decide if you're better than the next speaker or consultant or the next coach? They don't decide based on any objective analysis of you versus the other person. They base it on how they subjectively feel about you. If somebody likes you and they can afford you, they'll hire you. And if they either don't like you or they decide that your price is higher than they want to stretch themselves to pay, then they won't. It's not based on how good you actually are. It's based on the subjective, the way that you can shape another person's subjective opinion. That's the entire game in business. That's the entire game in business. And when you have systems and strategies, then you can get in front of the right people over and over and over again to give yourself more shots, basically more turns at bat, so to speak. You get what I'm saying? So, business is not a meritocracy. Yes, you should be good at business. I'm not saying don't have skill and don't have ability. Be good at it. But at the same time, don't think that just because you are good, that means you're going to get a whole bunch of opportunity, and that all of life is just going to come beating down your door just because you're good, or at least you think you're good at the thing that you're doing. What you need to have in place you need a long-term strategy that is going to be guided by your systems, and you need to get good at politics. All right, any of you think that you should opt out of politics and not be political because you're not trying to be all whatever you think being political means, you're not trying to be that? I'm telling you that you should be that. You should absolutely do that, because it'll help you in business. It'll help you get more opportunities, and oftentimes it will help you get opportunities that you otherwise wouldn't even get, simply because you know the right person or you have the right relationship with the right person. And that is a big part of the deal in the business world. Okay, so all y'all out there listening to this who think, oh, I'm this level of good, or I'm better than this person or better than that person, I should be getting opportunities because of how good I am, I'm telling you that that's 100% false. So stop thinking that way and start thinking the way that I just told you. All right, all that said, text me to get my daily motivation text straight to your phone, free of charge. My number is 305-384-6894. And go to workonyourgame.net, get access to my free training, how you can take your six-figure business to a seven-figure level. This is what 5 things that all seven-figure businesses are doing that six-figure businesses are not doing. You want to get access to that training? It's completely free. Just go to, all I'm asking for is your time. Just go to workonyourgame.net. That training is free. The link is down below. Work on your game. Dre all day.